Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so we are going to continue on our quest to find resin alternatives. So last time we did a video like this, we used Jasmonite. So I asked you guys in the comments of that video to give me more suggestions for other resin alternatives that you guys like to use or that you would want to see like tested out before you guys try it. So one of the top suggestions was, I almost said Jasmonite. Aqua resin. So I got a trial kit or like a test kit. Is that what it's called? Yeah, trial kit of aqua resin. It came with a whole bunch of stuff that I don't quite understand. The main part is that it came with the aqua resin. So it's basically a lot like Jasmonite, which I'm wondering if it's kind of the same thing. In this trial kit, I got the like liquid and the powder that I just told you guys about. And then we also got aqua veil, aqua axial, aqua glass. So we got all those things. I have them here. They're weird. It's like fiberglass, I think, right? I'm not entirely sure what we could make with this. We're gonna focus on the aqua resin and do something cool. I have some ideas, but I don't entirely know at this point what we're gonna be making. So let's jump into the mystery project. All right, you guys, welcome to the future, the present, the moment in time when I have come up with an idea for aqua resin and how we're going to incorporate some of this like fiberglass stuff. You'll see that I have the full rainbow here. It's beautiful and stunning. So these are from Solar Color Dust. They are like powder pigments. They're fluorescent pigments. Pretty exciting. So what I want to do is I'm going to mix up some aqua resin and then we're going to separate it out into these 6 colors because I kind of want to make an enormous tray. A tray so big it does not fit in the frame. I was actually inspired to do this by Miss Colorberry on Instagram. She did something like this with like little trays, but she like, I think it was with Jasmonite actually, so not aqua resin, but anyway, she like colored a bunch of different colors and like poured it in. And I think she called them like ugly trays or something. I thought they were stunning. So let's get mixing. I am gonna go by volume. You can measure out aqua resin by either volume or weight. And I'm just not a fan of using a scale. So I'm gonna go by volume, which by volume you do a 1:2 ratio. So we're gonna get started. All right, so voiceover Artsymadwoman is here to fire off some facts to you, and I'm probably going to explain the project that we're doing. So aqua resin, let's get into it. So there are 2 components to aqua resin. There's the liquid and then there's the powder component. And for this, I did use a 1:2 ratio because you can either do volume or weight. I decided to do volume, so I did a 1:2 ratio. So I'm doing 4 ounces of liquid. And then we're going to pour it into this like bigger cup. I use smaller cups to measure everything out. And then I poured it into these bigger cups so that we can mix it all together. So with the liquid component measured out and poured in, we're going to get to the powder. And I did 8 ounces. So this is a 4 ounces to 8 ounces, which is a 1:2 with 12 ounces total. Does that make sense? It kind of. So we're going to mix both of those together, and with that we're going to get to the facts. So I'm going to source all of the websites and everything that I'm giving you these facts from down in the description in case you want to read further into these facts. We're going to start with the FAQ section of the aqua resin website. So what is aqua resin made of? Aqua resin is what is referred to as a composite material, and as such is a combination of a high compressive strength matrix, in parentheses, the aqua resin mix, and a high tensile strength fiberglass. So I think what they're saying is aqua resin is this liquid to powder mixture that you also use in combination with the fiberglass products that they also have, which gives, your aqua resin pieces a lot more strength. Popping back into the project, what we're doing is separating all of the aqua resin that we mixed up into smaller cups. I believe I did 1.5 ounces for each color, and then we're going to take our powder pigments and mix them in. I really just did like a dime-sized amount of pigment for each color. Okay, back to the facts portion. So there honestly isn't a whole lot of info out there that at least I could find, but still on their website, this is kind of their overview section. So it says aqua resin is sustainably produced with less than 10% of its formula weight derived from petrochemical sources, is not only truly green and safe to use, but also OSHA and EPA compliant and LEED applicable. It says it's an easy-to-use, water-based, waterborne, non-toxic molding, laminating, and casting materials without the usual health risks or fumes generally associated with the conventional polyester, urethane, or formaldehyde emitting resin systems. That was a mouthful. So while I did wear a respirator and gloves throughout the making of this, it does say on their website that you only need to wear a mask if there is excessive dusting and that there are no harsh fumes. It says that gloves are suggested because aqua resin is difficult to remove from skin. Back over to the project, we've got all of our colors mixed up, so now we're going to get started on drizzling all of the colors onto this mold. I'm just going to let you enjoy it. So it's the next day. We did some rainbow splatters. What? I wasn't sure if those pigments from Solar Color Dust were going to mix into this stuff well, but oh my god, they did. It looks like, I keep calling it like chocolate. It just looks stunning. Anyway, so what I want to do for the rest of this, obviously we're making a tray. Basically, we're going to use the rest of what I have for aqua resin. We're also going to mix in, where is it? A little bit of this aqua glass. So this is a fiberglass reinforcement. This is the 1/2-inch pieces that they gave me. I'm gonna mix this in because I don't have a lot of aqua resin left, and I figure this is reinforcement. It's supposed to make it stronger. So I figure since it's gonna be like a thin layer, that maybe this will help. I am a little nervous that I'm not going to have enough aqua resin to cover everything and give like a good final layer. But if we don't, hear me out, maybe I'll just use like some of the 3D Crete that I have from CounterCultureDIY, which is just like, it's similar. It's a concrete kind of thing. We'll cross that bridge if we ever get to it. Hopefully we don't. So let's continue. Alright, so now that our swirly colors have cured for 24 hours, we're able to do the next layer of aqua resin. And like I said, I am using the rest of the aqua resin that I have, but I am just measuring it to make sure it's all the correct measurements, and then pouring it into the bigger cup, and then we're going to mix it all together. And for this second layer, we are going to be adding some of the fiberglass that I got. I am adding like the 1/2-inch pieces that I got in this kit. So we're just going to mix up the aqua resin first, and then we're going to add in the little fiberglass pieces. So I think in the little booklet of info that you get, it tells you how much you can add to it. I honestly, I just kind of put some in. See? Just did it there. I didn't really measure it out. I just kind of put a little chunk in. Not too much. Everything turned out fine, spoiler alert. We're also going to color this layer black with a dispersion color from CounterCultureDIY. So, back to a few facts. So while we're using fiberglass products, let's talk about them. So I did mix it in. Look how hairy it is. It's so like gloppy and weird. It was so weird to look at. So anyway, the fiberglass, you don't have to add it to like every single project. Like I guess you don't have to add it to small projects like coasters or anything like that. But I did add it to this because it's gonna be so thin that I thought it needed some strength. So one of the questions says, isn't fiberglass dangerous? Which is something I said to myself. But so it says, not the fiberglass used in our fiberglass products. This is a relatively large diameter fiber, which even when fractured, breaks into particles considered too large to enter deeply into the lungs where it might do some harm. So I don't know, I think it's super interesting and I love the idea behind it. I think that the fiberglass, I'm really happy I used it because this is so thin. But what I'm also thinking is this layer has fiberglass in it. So I feel like it's probably a pretty good idea to do one last layer of something to sort of seal in the fiberglass layer. So another 24 hours later, and we're gonna do the smallest layer of 3D Crete. It's gonna be so small, you're not even gonna know it's there. Like, you're literally not gonna know it's there. But yeah, so this stuff is literally just the 3D Crete mixed with water, and I don't really measure it out. I just kind of add water until I get the consistency that I'm looking for. So for this, I did want it to be fairly thin so that when I pour it in, I can kind of flatten it out and it's not lumpy like the last layer we did with the aqua resin. We are going to also be coloring this black so that it kind of blends in with the last layer of aqua resin that we did. So this is what I'm using. It's the same stuff that I used with the aqua resin. It is a dispersion color from CounterCultureDIY. Also, don't measure that out. Just kind of squirt that in until it's the color that I want it to be. So we're mixing all of this up and we're just going to pour it into the mold right on top of the aqua resin. The aqua resin is fully cured and we're just pouring the 3D Crete mixture right over it, and then we're going to spread it out nice and even. So while I'm pouring this, I did want to squeeze in, if you know any more info about aqua resin that you want to share, please comment down in the comments. It was kind of difficult to find info about this stuff besides their own website and their own FAQ section. I usually like to find, you know, multiple sources so that I can kind of like see if everything kind of lines up and matches up. But if you know anything you want to share, comment it down below. And to get it to be super flat on the bottom, I just kind of grabbed onto the mold and shook it until it was completely flat. All right, you guys, so it is the next day, and I'm kind of uncomfortable holding it up like that. So it's the next day, and we're gonna pop this out. I'm gonna try to drill into it to get some handles on it because it's a tray. So let's just start because I'm nervous. Oh my god. Oh my god. Whoa. It's so smooth.
Really? Can't touch it?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That is so, like, wonderful and satisfying. Does sort of look like a kid's, like, school project, but it's fine. I have these handles, and I want to, obviously, because it's a tray, I want to get some handles on them, on this, so that it'll look like this. And I'm nervous because if I just don't know if, like, when we drill into it, that it'll like crack. All right, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna drill into it. We're not gonna think. I'm just gonna do it. Do you think that's a bad sign?
Oh my god.
Wait, stop. That's color.
Yeah.
I made it through!
Okay.
Oh my god, it didn't crack! Alright, so both screws are in the handle. I'm just going to tighten both of them. A handle is on!
You got a handle on.
Can you freaking believe it? Holy crap! All right, you guys, I'm like really surprised that this worked out.
Yeah.
That we were able to drill into it. Because I don't know, it's very thin. Let me hold it So did you see how thin that is? I thought that it was gonna crack like 100%, but it worked out, and it honestly looks really cool. I mean, you know, besides it looking sort of like a kid's project, it is really cool, right? But I don't know. For me, it's got like this sort of like sensory overload sort of thing. Like, I catch myself like just zoning out to it. And mind you, we mixed in like colored pigments from Solar Color Dust. I wasn't sure if that was gonna work, but it did, like beautifully too. And then we were able to color the aqua resin like black. Like, I can't. That actually looks really cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we tested, you know, adding pigments and trying to color it really bright. Because I felt like with the Jesmonite, we weren't able to color it like super bright colors. But I think last time we used acrylic paint. I love that it worked out with the powder pigment. And I just can't get over the colors, dude.
Yeah.
They're like bright and they're solid. I keep comparing this to Jesmonite because it is pretty similar. Like, you know, they are both sort of like a white liquid and powder, and you mix it together and then you can add colors and stuff to it. I feel like they're very similar. I don't know which one came first, but I feel like they are very similar, and that's why I keep referencing Jesmonite. And we were able to drill into it. Yeah. It being really thin. And it feels good. It feels really, really solid. Able to color aqua resin with powder pigments like beautifully. We were also able to use dispersion colors really well, like the black looks really, really good. And we were able to drill into it. We were able to kind of like pour some bits in, let it dry, and then do another layer of it. I mean, I knew that was gonna, I feel like that was gonna work, right? The fiberglass, probably the fiberglass is what's helping it feel like super, super sturdy. Yeah, fiberglass is in there, but it's not on like that top layer, you know, we like just mixed it in, but it doesn't look like it's on this very top part of the tray. Yeah, I don't know, I loved this. I loved it. As far as it being like a resin alternative, obviously we've touched on this before. We're probably not, maybe, I don't know, but we're probably not gonna find one that's clear. Once we set that aside, this is pretty cool. It works really well. You're able to use your molds. It pops out of silicone molds really well. Shut up. If you guys work with aqua resin, let me know in the comments, tag your Instagrams or whatever. I want to check it out because I feel like this is really cool, and I kind of want to see like what other people do, especially with the fiberglass. That's a whole realm that I've never been in, but it is really cool, and I love the idea of it making something super sturdy. So anyway, let me know if you work with aqua resin and what kind of things you make with it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Make sure you give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Follow me on TikTok. I do things over there. It is at Artsymadwoman. I love you guys to absolute death, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.